How are you guys doing? Good. How am I doing? I don't know. I'm pretty tired, to be honest. I couldn't sleep because I slept, what, 11? But I couldn't sleep until 2 a.m. in the morning. No, on my bed. But yeah, so right now I'm pretty tired. And I'm also kind of hungry. So let's get this party started, okay? So, are the slides in this slides or? Oh, okay. So, actually, before I start, we're gonna do some discussion questions. Um, so you can share with your neighbor, a partner, a trio. Um, oh, there's Japanese too. That's cool. First question is, how do you personally relate with the words "We are the light of the world"? And the second question is, do you feel hope in the world we live in? Why or why not? So you guys can take like 5 minutes to discuss about these questions. All right, you guys can start wrapping up your discussions. Yeah, I think before I wanted to start sharing about this topic, I wanted to ask these questions because I think they are very important to my sermon. But also, I think it's nice to kind of reflect about these questions because I think the way you answer the second question is going to base how you're going to live the rest of your life. Maybe not the rest of your life if you change your mind about your answer about this question. So yeah. Anyways, so the sermon title, as you can see through the three songs that we listened to, is "Light of the World." We are the light of the world. And the reason why I was kind of thinking about this message this week because I was kind of thinking about the situation that we are in, not just as a movement, but as a whole too. A lot of things have been happening throughout the past couple weeks, and it's been a lot to digest throughout this past couple weeks. So yeah, I'm just wondering, like, what should I share about this week because of all these things that's happening. So something that I was kind of reflecting or praying about was uh, that we are the light of the world. And yeah, have you guys seen this phrase, light of the world, before? Can I get a raise of hands, like if you've seen this phrase? Yeah, it's a very popular phrase, and I love this phrase because one of my favorite Bible quotes, Bible verses are included in here, which I will share right now. So yeah, this is Matthew 5, chapter 5, verse 14 to 16, NIV version. And this was when Jesus was giving the Sermon on the Mount. Um, very simple messages, but very important. And this was one of the words that he said. He says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand and gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." And yeah, I thought this was, you know, they probably didn't understand what they were saying back then, but it's very clear to me now in today's world of how what it means to really let your light shine in this world. And I also wanted to find something that True Mother said as well. And I thought this was something pretty similar. This was given in July 2nd in the Chomonggung. The title of the I guess the information is like a special audience with the true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind for pastoral couples of Family Federation for World Peace, and this was mainly for Heavenly Korea. But it says, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll just read the underline. It says, "True Parents' mission is to create the environment on earth where heavenly parents dream life in the earthly kingdom of heaven can be realized. Particularly, this is the life that true children have come through blessed families should live." And then she kind of explains it as a metaphor of it being a river or water. So why am I sharing this message? Why am I sharing these verses? I think it kind of gives an understanding of what does it mean to let your light shine. What does it mean to become a light that you can shine. So these are a couple things that I was thinking about when it comes to becoming the light of the world. I kind of put that quote back in to kind of see like what we're basing it out of. But pretty much like your actions speak louder than words. Um, and yeah, pretty much you're kind of showing who you truly are through the things that you do in your life. Um, and yeah, being the light of the world really means like the people through the actions that you do or through the things that you do in your life, people see the good in you. Like people see like, oh, like this, they understand the qualities and characters that you have. And so if you have values that's under like I don't know, faith or goodness and family relationships, they will see that. They will see that through the lifestyle that you have. And you can lie, you can lie and all that stuff, but people will eventually find out who you really are. through like the actions that you do or the lifestyle that you build. Um, and so, yeah, I guess one example that I was thinking about was when I was in the Carp House in Maryland with a lot of brothers and sisters. We were doing a lot of campus events and witnessing. Um, you pretty much find a way. You pretty much figure out how you struggle with everybody in the house, and people are annoying. People are either loud, they snore in their sleep, so you can't sleep. Like all these things, you slowly figure out as you live in a house together, and so. Yeah, it kind of made me realize like, oh, you can actually see how people are actually when you live closer to them or when you see their lifestyle. And so, yeah, is that the it's like, what's the light that you'd want to really see. And so, yeah, people can see the good in you if your values is good. Um, yeah. And I think one thing is like, especially when you're in value of faith, you definitely show that you are reflecting God's nature within yourself. Um, if you practice it, if you follow it, if you continue to practice it, even when it's hard. That's what it means to become the light of the world. It's pretty straightforward, showing who you really are, letting your light shine through the passions and the character and the personality and the values that you have. So, yeah, seems pretty easy, right? All these things. I only wrote 4 bullet points, and they're pretty easy to understand. So, why is it? How do you feel when you're making an impact with the world? Like, who feels um, who feels devastated when they feel like they made an impact in the world? Can I get a raise of hands? Great. I was. Oh, we got one person back there. Just kidding. So yeah, you're not supposed to feel that, right? You're not supposed to feel devastated or sad that you made an impact in something, in someone's life or something in your own life too. But actually, you feel a lot of hope and happiness, and you feel like you want to do more, you need to do more. Um, yeah, that's why there's so many like nonprofits, right? Like this, let's say the CEO of the nonprofit or like the boss of the nonprofit, they want to continue to do more. That's why they made the program itself. And so, yeah, we want to feel that, right? Like we want to feel like this true fulfillment. Like there's like a purpose or direction in your life. And although some people are getting older, some people are young, I'm sure all of you can still make an impact, uh, even today. And yeah, so actually, one thing it's really it's really hard to make an audio to share a lecture or a talk with an audience from 1 years old to I don't know 80, 90, the oldest person in here. Um, so I'll do my best to make it relatable for everybody. Um, so yeah. Anyways, we want to kind of feel this feeling of purpose and fulfillment all the time. Uh, and sometimes it can be hard to feel. So, what's holding us back? Like what are some challenges that are kind of holding us back to become the light that we want to shine? What are the things that is coming into our life that is holding us back? And yeah, so some people can blame, society. A lot of things are happening, like with the situation, and like a lot of bad news, like all because of the world, I can't become like this, or because of this person, like I don't want to do reach for my goals or passions. Yeah, you can blame like the outside society, outside people. You can blame something outside yourself, but actually, people who say that they're actually wrong. They're incorrect, and you should be. Actually, never mind. I won't say that. So actually, we are holding back ourselves, and I think that's what happens a lot of times actually, where your self thinking, your negative self thoughts kind of come to you, and you can kind of think of it as Satan secretly, slowly like telling you like, hey, you can't do this, or like because the world is like this, you can't do that. or oh, because this person is annoying and you hate him so much, I don't know, you can't fulfill your goals because this guy's in the way. Um, but actually, those are just your thoughts. Yeah, the thoughts that you have, like blaming others or like blaming even like obstacles in your path or your only challenges. They don't have to be something like real. They can be something that's like something internal, like because of your character or because your health or something. And sometimes that is true, like physically, health wise, like you can't really pursue the goals that you have because, you're physically incapable of doing so. But even with that, like we still are holding back ourselves. Our thoughts and our the things that we think in our minds um, really shine of who you really are. So if you think like that, that's what you're going to be. That's that negativity is what you're going to be. Um, and so yeah, and sometimes even worrying about too much is also something we hold back ourselves. But these are just examples of what makes us hold back ourselves. And so, how do we overcome that, Cuz it happens every day in your life. Even if you're a good person, it still happens every day in your life. I'm the I'm the best guy in this I don't know. I'm cool. I have a lot of good qualities. Um, but I still have negative thoughts, and sometimes I act on those negative thoughts too. And so it's not perfect. I'm not perfect. Everyone's not perfect. Everyone has these thoughts, no matter how good they are. I'm sure even the best people that created these peaceful protests and peaceful movements, they still have these negative thoughts of like, how am I gonna fix this world and things like that. They still are there, and they will probably come for the rest of your life, unfortunately. And so with this situation that we have, like, how are we gonna overcome this? How do we get over ourselves to become this light? You know, because actually these negative thoughts is kind of like that blanket of your lamp. Like it's covering you. It's like not really like helping you to become like bright, happy, and fulfilled. And so like we have to kind of pretty much figure out how do we uncover that blanket within ourselves from that lamp. And yeah, so I think um, yeah. So becoming the light, it require. I mean, for me personally, my experience, I think it requires three things. There's probably more things that you can apply, but this is what I figured out in my life so far. I'm only 26, so I have a lot of years to go to learn about life and faith. So here we go. The first thing that I felt like that helped me to become this light. I'm still shining. I'm still in progress of becoming the light. But is one thing is a consistent connection with Heavenly Parent. And so, sometimes this can be hard because life is so busy. I'm taking 5 classes. I have 3 exams this next week that I should be studying for right now. I have uh, church stuff, church activities. I'm very busy with my life, so it's easy to kind of forget about connecting with our heavenly parent, who is who I think that is important to really become the light because that's where all the values come from. That's where all the goodness goodness of your character and can really shine through that. And so, I feel like sometimes it can be hard to do it every day. Like every day, like reading God's words. Like even for me, that's hard. I can't read every day. I can't read God's words every day. And so, yeah, I feel like, but even though that it can be hard to have this consistent connection, like if you are able to kind of at least have a consistent schedule behind how you can connect with your heavenly parent and kind of be up to date in a sense, be refreshed with that kind of mindset, then reading God's words like 2 times a week is like good, even better than 0 times a week, because 2 is greater than 0. And if you do something each week, that's better than nothing. So, like, even for me, like I go to prayer vigil like once a week, and I want to go every day, but I have school in the morning, and I'm probably gonna fail all my classes if I go join every day. So I decided, okay, how about I just do once a week, and you know, and actually doing that just once a week was actually really helpful for me because it always kept me up to date. What is God's desire for me right now? What is God's what is God telling me today? That week. What is God telling me this week? Through joining these prayer vigils. And I know it's from like 10 to 1. Like that's why I don't want to go every day because I have school. But if I just join once a week, that's so much more helpful than going 0 times a week or reading God's word 0 times a week or praying 0 times a week. If you just pray at least once a week, that's a good start. And actually, because you feel, that feeling of, when you make an impact of feeling hopeful, feeling happy, purposeful, that'll come to you that one week, one day in that week. And I feel like it'll be like a positive loop. Like because you felt that, you want to try to do something more to fit into your schedule. Like maybe read more God's words or join prayer vigil 2 times a week or hang out with your friends of faith or friends, I guess. Building a relationship with God, some way, shape, or form. Um, I feel like that is so much more helpful than doing nothing. So, yeah, and sometimes, some days you might not feel it. Like, some days you must just don't feel like connecting, or like you just feel lazy. You just don't want to do anything. But the fact that you created this schedule, consistent connection, is already a way to, like, even if you don't want to do it, you still do it anyways because it's part of your schedule. Like for me, I don't want to go to school like 5 times a week. Like why do I go? Because I need good grades and it's for me to get a good job. But I go anyways. Like it's not always gonna be like a happy thing. It's always not gonna be like a way to like get you happiness. But it's a in the long term, this is how you're gonna feel fulfilled and become this light. I feel like this is the number one um, important thing to really becoming this light because that's the way the let's say like God is your light. If you want to become like God, then you have to always try to understand God's heart. You have to always try to understand God to become that light. And so it's important to really have this consistent connection, even if it's just one day a week, um, or even 10 minutes, if you say. Um, yeah, and actually, I think um, connecting to your passion is very important as well. Um, yeah, it's interesting. The things that you want to do is also important to really becoming the light because everybody. I think True Mother said this before, and I think it's been said many many times in different other contexts. But everybody is different. Everybody is unique. Everybody has different skills and passions that they want to achieve. Even when you're older, you probably still have some hobbies that you want to do, or although it cannot be like a career or like it's still there's a passion that you have within yourself, and and I believe that if everybody does the same thing, like if let's say everyone becomes an engineer because David's so cool that he's an environmental engineer, he wants to save the world, then who's gonna be the doctors that can help the sick patients? No one's gonna be at the hospital. Everyone's an engineer. Or if everyone plays music, like who's gonna, I don't know, cook food? No one's gonna eat food. We're all gonna die, pretty much. So everybody has different unique passions, and that's important to strive and follow. And and actually, because you're connecting to your passion, it naturally helps you shine yourself um, from what you do. There's been a lot of nonprofits, like for example, Engineers Without Borders. They're a nonprofit organization that goes overseas to build projects for third world countries, such as building clean water treatment systems or wells, stuff like that. And yeah, pretty much these engineers are using their passion to be able to shine themselves in what they want to do to help others. It's very, very selfless organization. And yeah, and I feel like, we all need that in different areas of life. Even when it comes to, I don't know, doing just the most odd things, like, I don't know, what are odd things? Like sewing? Do people sew? I don't think it's odd. I think it's interesting. I don't sew, so maybe you can teach me. But um, you can use that passion to be able to provide clothing for like people who need clothing, or you can just use it as a business or something. But it'll let yourself shine because it's the things that you want to do, right? God didn't create yourself so that you can't do the things that you can do, but He created us with infinite creativity. So being able to really connect to your passion is very important to really be able to shine your own light. And yeah, and possibly you could use that passion to make a contribution to the world. Um, and so, yeah, I believe connecting to your passion is important. And yeah, so um, yeah, and then the last thing that is important is creating a mindset of growth. Um, actually, these two qualities, consistent connection with Heavenly Parent and connecting to your passion, is connects with this mindset of growth because that's how you grow to connect to your passion. That's how you grow to connect with Heavenly Parent. And mindset of growth is interesting. It's like a secret technique to being successful in any field that you want. That's why for me, like I'm so good at a lot of different things in my life. Like I worked at Sushi 10 because I had this mindset of growth. I know how to roll sushi 10 times better than my coworkers, I think. And I also know how to cut sushi. But the other things like putting the rice on the machine does it. So I'm not good at that. But the fact that like I can get good at something so easily was because of this mindset of growth. Being able to see each challenge and opportunity as an opportunity of growth makes life actually a lot more easier because when you make that mistake, you don't actually feel so shameful. You actually feel a lot more positive about yourself, like, oh, this is actually a new thing that I faced, and it's time for me to grow in that situation. Like, how can I overcome this situation next time? Like, actually, a lot of successful business owners, they don't just go like this is not their growth of business. It's always like up and down. But the end point is always like you're always a step higher than where you started. So, but that's because they see the challenge that they face as a opportunity of growth. Like, what can I do next time to be able to overcome in that situation? And some people, when they face this challenge in business, you get pretty down pretty badly. Like you get challenged pretty badly. But for those who overcome those things, like for example, Red Lobster. Do you guys know Red Lobster? I love their bread. They're pretty good. Um, but I don't know if it's the CEO or the boss, but so the business was pretty much about to fail and shut down, but pretty much the CEO like pretty much turned it around and made it a very very successful business. As you can see, there's a lot of Red Lobsters everywhere, and so yeah, it's kind of like a show of proof. Like you can turn anything into success if you put your mind into it. So if you want to connect to your passion, if you want to connect with Heavenly Parent, it's gonna take that mindset. Life will be hard sometimes. Life will put you down in a hole that is very hard to get up. But if you are able to kind of think about this, like what am I facing right now? What are the challenges? Not be so stressed out about oh my God, there's so many problems in my life, blah blah blah. Like what do you take one step at a time? Like what are you gonna do to solve each of these small steps at a time? I don't know how you're gonna do it, but everybody has different ways to solve their own challenges, and so yeah, and eventually you'll find a way out. And sometimes life is hard, but you know but I don't know. I haven't faced that difficulty of life yet. So maybe there's more that I need to learn from you guys, because I'm not perfect. I'm only 26. um, I'm still in college, unfortunately, but I haven't been to the real life yet. So I still have a lot to learn from you guys. But this is what I've learned so far to really becoming this light. And yeah, and I feel like it's not like an immediate thing. Like all these things I showed you, like they're not like the key ways to automatically remove the blanket in from your lamp. But these are steps to slowly snip off those blankets and slowly shine, become that light. And sometimes days the light might be dimmer. Some days your light might be bigger. But as long as you are able to get back up and continue to move forward, overcome your challenges in life, that's when you can um, really become that light. And what's great is that you can grow forever in your life. It's not like there's a stopping point. You always learn something, which is wonderful because if you stop learning, if you stop growing, then that feeling of fulfillment, the feeling of purpose, the feeling of advancing would be gone. And I feel like that's such a terrible, terrible feeling. I feel like you would feel like nothing is. You wouldn't feel hopeful. You would feel hopeless. Wow, I said that. That's cool. Anyways, so yes, I think it's nice to be able to go through these challenges. Yeah, and I think yeah, I think that's how you become this light. And yeah, so I feel like overall, I forgot what I put on my next slide. Oh, that's pretty much it. But anyways, I think also another reason why I wanted to share this was because we're going through like a interesting situation with our movement, and I feel like there's a lot of thoughts that can come to mind, like what be so worried about the situation out there, and like kind of being able to being for me, I felt like I also cultivated that mindset, like what's happening, like over there and over there and like over there. But then I come to lost connection with myself. What happens? What happens to me? Like what how do I feel, in a sense? And that's why I've been reflecting about like uh, this word of shining your own light, because I think that's the best way to be able to connect with True Mother is through being able to shine your own light. Um, and yeah, everything's happening in Korea, so we can't really do much. We're thousands of miles away. We can pray, we can go to Chonshimwon, we can do whatever we want to be able to do that. But what's most important is that we continue to follow this mission that we have in our own hearts. Um, and yeah, I think that's what will make us not worried in our own hearts. That's what will bring peace within our own hearts, I believe. So yeah, so let us become this light. I think one thing I want to kind of emphasize, like consistent connection with Heavenly Parent. One thing I feel like is a great idea, like to help us understand what can we do now, or like help us understand, like to go through this time, is go to the Chonshinwon visual once this week. No, maybe not once this week, maybe next week. I go Friday, so if you want to come see me, you guys should go Friday. But it's not about me, it's about God. So, anyways, so yeah, I think this is important because, actually, for me, this is actually the reason why I feel connected with what's happening now. Not really what's happening now, but more of what can I do now? What kind of heart I should go have right now at this moment. Um, and it makes me have like a sense of peace. Like, okay, yeah, this is what I need to do. Um, and I know it's 10 to 1 still, unfortunately, but it's so late. But it's a very, very nice way to, because it's not like you you find your answer through what people are saying or whatever. You actually find your own. You feel like you find your own answer to your questions that you have. Like, what can I do now? Like, it's not like they tell you like, oh, you should do this, but it's more of like the feeling of, oh, like this is what I should feel. This is what I should feel like. This is the heart that I should have towards this situation, or even your own situation that you have back at home. I feel like this is a great way to really provide that consistent connection with God. And it's only one day of the week, or you can go once a month. You know, at least set up some. Okay, maybe not once a month. Eugen's looking at me weird. Twice a month, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, some kind of consistent connection. I feel like it's a good start. But if it's too hard to do this, then maybe even just, reading God's words once a week or twice a week if you haven't even done it. I haven't done it yet, so it's okay to not read God's words. It's okay to read God's words. I'm saying it's okay that you didn't before, but now you can start, is what I'm trying to say. Yes. So that was pretty much my message. So let us shine bright to the world and become true children. Yahoo!